friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 445. Day in that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. Before we start this video off, man, I just gotta say rest in peace to this guy right here. This guy right here was just such a huge part of my childhood. And that guy is Akira Toriyama. And for y'all that don't know, Akira Toriyama was the creator of Dragon Ball. And for me growing up, y'all, like Dragon Ball was such I feel like it was important, like it was needed. Like I can't imagine growing up without freaking Dragon Ball, without Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo and Gohan. You know what I'm saying, man? I can just remember being in elementary school and being all the dudes, all the boys, we talking about Dragon Ball, what happened last night on Dragon Ball Z, yesterday on Dragon Ball Z. And then I can just I still can remember the feeling of getting out of school at 3 o'clock and ready to get home so you can watch Dragon Ball Z, because it came on at 4 and it ran for an hour from 4 to 5, man. And it was 2 episodes. They gave you 2 episodes on Toonami, y'all. Like those was just amazing days to me. Like it's just a part of my childhood that I can't even imagine not having. So Akira Toriyama, without him, we would have never got none of that. So it's just rest in peace to that guy, man, and just thank you for bringing that to us. And even as an adult, now that I think about it, y'all, I still watch Dragon Ball to this day. I'm caught up on Dragon Ball Super. The last thing that's going on right now is Master Ultra Instinct Goku versus Beast Gohan. Like I'm still invested in it, man. So yes, it was a big part of my childhood, but the more I think about it, it's just a big part of my life, period. Even at the age of 33, I'm still invested in freaking Dragon Ball. And I'm gonna say something that may piss some of y'all off, but I don't care, man. This is my opinion. I don't give a freak. I think Dragon Ball is the greatest anime of all freaking time. And you can take that to the bank, or you can flip that song sideways and shove it nowhere else that you want to if you don't agree with me. And it's a biased opinion, because Dragon Ball is the only freaking anime that I watched. I watched Pokemon a little bit back in the day, and I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit back in the day, but I don't even watch that no more. You know, I don't watch either one of them, but I still watch Dragon Ball, man. So I know it's a biased opinion, but hey, I just freaking love Dragon Ball. So one more time, I just gotta say, rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. But I digress. Hope y'all doing excelente out there today, and I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. And today, it is Saturday, my brothers and sisters. So y'all know who we about to go back to. AJ from the Wi-Files. The Wi-Fi Saturdays, y'all. And the thing about AJ this week, y'all, he had put out a video. It was like a compilation of like a lot of his past few videos that he had put out, and it was 2 hours and 30 minutes long, man. I'm like, no, we can't watch that one, man. We can't watch that one together, because that 2 hours and 30 minutes combined with my reactions, shit, that damn video might have been 3 hours and 30 minutes to 4 hours long, y'all. So we're not gonna check that one out, but it do give us the opportunity to go back in his catalog and check out a video that I haven't seen before, because he got a lot of videos that I have never seen before, y'all. So the Wi-Fi Saturdays would never run out of content to check out, y'all. And this one right here was very interesting to me, and the title of it is Time Travel Possible? Evidence says yes. 9 time travelers caught on film. Now, this just one of the ones that I just go back and forth on, man. It's another one of those, my brothers and sisters, because it's like I want to believe that time travel is not real, but it seems like it's more plausible that it is real than it is not. You know what I'm saying, man? And I just go back and forth on it. And this is just my little crazy theory or whatever you want to call it. This is my conspiracy of why I think that it's more than likely real than not real. Okay, let's just hypothetically say that right now it's 5,000. It's the year 5024. In the year 5024, y'all don't think that goddamn them people, those advanced humans, not gonna know how to time travel? You don't think by then? Look how fast that we are advancing as a human society. 3,000 years from now, y'all, I'm pretty sure they gonna know how to freaking time travel. They gonna be figured it out if the freaking Earth still be here. Because me personally, I don't even think that the Earth is gonna make it that long, man. Like, I feel like humans gonna end up being the demise of our own selves, man. But hypothetically speaking, if the humans do make it to the year 5024, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be able to time travel, which means that they can time travel back here right now, right? Which means that there is possible that is a human or a couple of humans that, or hundreds, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, the possibilities are endless. It's possible that they are here right now in the year 2004, and they may be from the future because they know how to do it. That ain't no crazy theory, right? Y'all follow what I'm saying, man? But the problem with this time traveling that I have, man, is like, it's so crazy how you can contradict yourself. Like, you can be saying one thing, but then you can bring a counter argument to it that'll just diminish what you were saying about that, and it just goes back and forth with me. But long story short, story long, if I had to say, I'll be saying that I'm probably 70% sure that time traveling is possible and 30% sure that it's not. Y'all get what I'm saying, man? I don't freaking know, my brothers and sisters. I'm just gonna shut the hell up so we can go and get into the video. But before we get into the video, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need and get what you need, please. Another The Wi-Fi Saturday. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Is time travel possible? Well, according to physicists, yes. Time travel to the future is not only possible, it's been scientifically proven. But what about traveling to the past? Well, that's a little trickier. But there does seem to be some evidence that travelers from the future have visited us in the past, and maybe among us right now. Let's find out why.
Get whatever you might need.
The laws of physics seem to be compatible with time machines. This is very unsettling.
Welcome to the Y-Files, where cool nerds laugh and learn. The human race has been fascinated with traveling through time ever since the human race understood what time was. But has time travel been achieved by future humans? And if so, did they leave us clues that they were here? Well, we've scoured the internet for the best time travel stories we can find. You may know some of them. Some may be new to you, some are hoaxes, a few have been debunked, but there are a couple of stories that defy explanation. Let's get into it.
And see, that's exactly what I was saying, y'all. I was trying to say, at least, that if they freaking in the future, if we as a human society in the future gonna figure out how to time travel, which is very plausible, then it's also very plausible to believe that there are freaking time travelers right now in our time. Like, I don't know, y'all. This is just so freaking complicated. But let's get into the stories, man. Let's get into these.
In 1950, a New York City police officer working missing persons cases examined the body of a 30-year-old man who was brought to the morgue. The man had appeared in the middle of Times Square at 11:15 p.m. that evening. A witness described him as gawking and looking around at the cars and at the signs like he'd never seen them before. He then tried to cross the street against the traffic lights, was hit by a speeding taxi, and died. Pockets of his clothing had coins and currency that had not been in circulation for decades, yet many of them were in mint condition. He also had items from businesses that no longer existed in New York City, like a bill from a livery stable, a brass slug from a saloon, and a letter postmarked 1876. He also had identification bearing the name Rudolph Fentz with an address on Fifth Avenue. Now, the name Rudolph Fentz didn't appear in the New York City phone book, and the Fifth Avenue address listed on the dead man's card had been a business for many years, not a residence, and no one there had ever heard of Rudolph Fentz. The deceased fingerprints matched nothing on file, and no current police reports fit the man's description. Also, his clothes appeared to be about 75 years out of date. Tags on his clothing had the name and address of a tailor that no one had ever heard of, and his hat, which looked new, came from a shop that had been closed for over 50 years. The investigating officer finally turned up a listing in an old phone book for a Rudolph Fentz Jr., a man in his 60s who had passed away 5 years earlier. Now, his widow was still living and said her husband's father, Rudolph Fentz Sr., had disappeared sometime in the 1870s. He had gone out for a walk one night around 10 p.m. and was never seen again.
This is crazy!
I know.
Yeah, this is crazy, Hucklefish. But I gotta say, man, if I don't believe that people from the past, this whole damn thing just don't make no sense. Because like I said, you contradict what I was about to say, but I'm still gonna say it. I don't think people from the past, like in our past history, like from 2024 on back, y'all, I don't think that they are able to travel to the future because we never had the technology to travel to the future. But here come a crazy theory about that you could say. What if Rudolph Fentz, he freaking like fell into a different parallel universe or something? What if he from a different dimension or something? I don't freaking know, y'all. That would make it possible for him to travel to the future. Now, what I'm saying also too is once humans do learn how to time travel, how many thousands of years it may take, whatever, then I would believe that they are able to travel to the future. But us right now, we don't have that technology or whatever. We ain't figured it out. So it's hard to believe this, but with all the evidence that's going on with Rudolph, I don't know, y'all. My goddamn brain already starting to hurt. Let's just keep going.
So a search of an old missing persons report turned up a Rudolph Fentz, dated 1876, and the man's clothing and address matched those of the man killed in Times Square in 1950. So, that missing persons case was finally closed after 75 years, but a different case remains open. What really happened to Rudolph Fentz?
Like depending on a trajectory you take around a black hole, you can come out and end up in the past of when you started.
In 2003, the FBI arrested 44-year-old Andrew Carlson for suspicion of insider trading. In just 2 weeks, Carlson had made 126 consecutive high-risk profitable trades, turning his $800 of seed capital into a portfolio worth $350 million. Naturally, the SEC wanted this looked into.
Naturally. People with money don't want anyone else making money.
I can't deny that. Now, normally when someone is arrested for insider trading, they deny it. But during a 4-hour interrogation, investigators got an explanation they didn't expect. Carlson stated he traveled back in time from 250 years in the future, bringing knowledge of high-risk, high-profit stock trades. In his videotaped confession, Carlson said it was just too tempting to resist. He'd planned to make it look natural by losing a little here and there, but got caught up in the moment. So the SEC said he was either a lunatic or a pathological liar, because the only way he could pull this off was with illegal information. And they said he's going to sit in jail until he agrees to give up his sources. But
where in the hell those sources come from, though? How in the hell? I'm stuck on this part. How in the hell this man went from $800 to freaking $350 million? Like, he had to been knew something with this damn stock market or whatever he invested in. That is just a ROI, a return on your investment time, millions and millions and millions. Like, seriously, man, that is freaking crazy. But see, this how we can debunk him, period. This how we can just kill this whole I'm from the future thing with Andrew. All we got to do is go check his birth certificate. Look at his family records. If he got family, if he got a mama who was born 20, 30 years before him, and he got a dad and all that is on record. If he got sisters and brothers out here, then Yaz ain't from the future. But if there's no record or nothing like that, then I don't know what to say. Let's see.
Carlson did not give up his sources. He stuck to his story.
Even in the future, snitches get stitches.
Yup. So knowing he was going to prison, Carlson said in exchange for a lighter sentence, he'd be willing to reveal the cure for AIDS and the location of Osama bin Laden. He also said he didn't care about the money, he'd give it back. He just wanted to return to his time craft and go back to his own time. But he refused to reveal the location of the craft for fear that it would fall into the wrong hands. So bail was set at $1 million and he was put into holding to await trial. And you would think that's the end of the story. Carlson had no family, no friends, and no longer had any money. But after a few weeks in custody, a mysterious, unidentified man posted Carlson's bail of $1 million.
What? Who was the mystery man?
Well, we don't know. The mystery man and Carlson were never seen or heard from again. And even stranger, there's no record of anyone named Andrew Carlson before the day he was arrested.
Hey, question for you.
Yeah?
Did he mention anything about GameStop?
That is crazy for real, man. That dude ain't have no record. I was saying if he had a birth certificate, but... And then the mystery man. Did the mystery man come from the future and save him? See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. This is just crazy. It's just crazy. Let's just keep going. Great video so far.
Time travel is possible if you're focusing upon time travel to the future.
Okay, this one gives me chills. Tyson's boxing match with Peter McNeely in 1993 was notable for being Iron Mike's first since his release from prison. It lasted only 89 seconds and was stopped after McNeely was knocked down twice. But the most remarkable moment occurred outside of the ring, where footage shows a spectator holding up a smartphone years before they were invented. The white-colored camera has the distinctive slim-line design of a smartphone with the lens in the top left corner, another innovation associated with modern-day recording equipment. All right, enough talk. You gotta take a look at this.
What is that?
I honestly don't know. Camcorders were everywhere in the 90s, but they were bigger than this, and this guy obviously is holding it with one hand. A lot of people think it looks like an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy, but those wouldn't be invented for years, so...
What the fuck? Dude, that is crazy, man. That dude literally looked like he holding a freaking cell phone in his hand. I don't know what brand, but that is irrelevant at this point. Back then in the 90s, y'all, I can remember when I was a little child. And one of my nephew's daddy, he had the freaking camcorder, man. And it was big as freak. Like you had to hold it on your shoulder and look like this. That man looked like he had a goddamn iPhone. Like that is crazy, man. Can somebody please explain that? He was man, let's just, now that one, they'll just, my mind even more. I can't even come up with a theory to make that one make sense. I can't. What the hell was he? Then the bitch had a light on it. What was that? Wow.
Time travel. What?
Time travel.
This is a famous photo known as the time-traveling hipster. The image comes from the Bralorne Pioneer Museum in British Columbia, and the photograph was taken in 1940 at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Canada. When the museum digitized the photo and put it online in 2010, people noticed something strange. At first glance, everything looks right. The men are in jackets, ties, and hats, the women in bonnets and overcoats. But look at this.
Whoa!
This guy appears to have a modern haircut, sunglasses, and he's wearing a graphic t-shirt under his cardigan. And what's that?
Okay, this shit gotta be Photoshop, man. It took me a minute to even realize he was right there. Dude, this got to be, this photo cannot be real. It just can't. Like, my mind won't even let me believe it can't, because if I believe it is real, then I'm gonna freaking go crazy over here, my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this man is clearly not in this time frame. But he is in this picture. This gotta be freaking photoshopped. I'm sorry.
What's that he's holding? Doesn't that seem too small to be a camera in 1940?
Photoshop?
Nope. The museum has confirmed that the photo is authentic and unaltered. So, who is he? Where is he from?
Don't you mean, when is he from?
Quick paths through space-time that seem to be permitted by the laws of physics, although it would require a very high advanced technology, much more advanced than us, to do it.
Out-of-place technology seems to pop up all over the place if you look for it. In 2010, a video called Chaplin's Time Traveler appeared on YouTube, and the clip analyzes bonus material from a DVD of Charlie Chaplin's 1928 film, The Circus. Now, the footage is from the film's Los Angeles premiere at Grauman's Chinese Theater, and at one point, a woman is seen walking by holding up an object to her ear, and a closer examination, she seems to be talking into a thin black device. What is this? There are no cell towers or satellites yet, so it's not a modern cell phone. Then what is it? She's definitely talking, but there's nobody else near her. Who is she talking to?
She's talking to other time agents. She's saying, this movie sucks. Let's get an In-N-Out burger instead.
Maybe. In a few years.
Hucklefish stupid, man, but seriously, like she looked like she holding the whole conversation. She's smiling and everything. Dude, this shit was in 1920. It was way before cell phones. Phones, period. What the?
Years later, this happened again. This is footage from 1938 of people coming out of a DuPont factory. And the woman in the center seems to be talking on a cell phone or some communication device, and then puts it away. Now, this video was so convincing that it's been covered by the Huffington Post, Daily Mail, and Yahoo News.
Oh, please.
What?
Yahoo News should change its name to Yahoo Random Words That Should Never Be Believed.
So you don't trust the media?
I'm a fish, not a sheep.
Fine, I got it. Don't trust the media.
Yeah, attaboy.
Anyway, Hagley's Digital Archive has full scans of every issue of DuPont magazine from 1913 to 1993, and there's no mention of a wireless communication device around the time of the film. So you tell me, who's she talking to?
Mission Control on the mothership.
Man, yo, I knew this was gonna be good, but I did not know we was gonna get this type of ish. Like, I ain't know the recordings of that we was finna watch from these time travelers was gonna be this convincing. Like, I can't really come up with no theories for that. Like, to try to debunk it. Cause she look like she walking and talking and laugh. Like, it literally look, and you can see she holding something in her freaking hand. This is in 1930 freaking 8. I can't even come up with no crazy theory, y'all. I swear I can't. Only crazy theory that I can come up with is whatever she was holding in her hand wasn't a phone. It was just some object. But why in the hell would she be holding it to her ear and literally looking like she talking? I'm done. Let's just keep going.
Time travel.
What?
Out-of-place technology can be found not just in film or old photographs, but in art created hundreds or thousands of years ago. Here are a few famous ones. In 2008, a team of archaeologists had made a puzzling discovery. The team included some journalists. They were filming a documentary at a dig site at a sealed tomb dating to the Ming Dynasty at Shaanxi, northern China. As one of the coffins were being cleared of soil before being opened, a strange metallic object was found. It was a small golden ring with a watch face on its front, approximately 2 millimeters thick. Tiny hands on the watch showed the time had frozen at 10:06. And most astonishing of all, the back of the watch had the word Swiss engraved in English. Now, the tomb had been sealed for 400 years, and the watch itself was already 100 years old when it was placed inside. That dates to the 15th or 16th century. Switzerland wasn't even known by that name in English until 1848.
This is like a time traveler lost and found.
It kinda is. The Spanish city of Salamanca features a cathedral built in 1102. The carvings are pretty typical for the 12th century. Winding vines and leaves, gargoyles, demons, no big whoop. But what the heck is this? That appears to be a modern astronaut wearing a spacesuit, and not just a random spacesuit. This particular suit has features specific to the Apollo 11 EMU worn by Buzz Aldrin. You can see the helmet, the backpack, which held the primary life support system, and oxygen umbilical cords.
Gills are so underrated.
They are. But what really got me were the boots. They feature deep treads that would be used to explore dusty extraterrestrial surfaces like the moon and Mars. And he appears to be floating like he's on a spacewalk. So how could the artists have predicted all these details almost 900 years before they were invented?
How could they, man? Jesus Louises, my brothers and sisters. Gee, man, like, whoa, dude, this is a lot to take in for me. Because all this shit is plausible, but I hope AJ come and explain and debunk some of this stuff. Because how in the hell they fucking scoped it, a freaking spaceship man, spaceman, whatever they call, all like 900 years ago, without there being some freaking people from the future who went there 900 years ago that look like that. Man, let's go.
1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott!
Okay, these stories are certainly fun, but are they real? Can they be explained? Maybe. You be the judge. Let's go through them. The case of Rudolph Fentz is an urban legend that's been around since the 1970s, maybe even earlier. I first heard it from my dad when I was a kid. But it's not true. It's actually an excerpt from a short story called I'm Scared, which was written by Jack Finney, who you might know as the author of The Body Snatchers. The story was published in Collier's magazine in 1951, about the time when Rudolph Fentz supposedly appeared.
Nice to believe it.
I know you do.
Yeah, and see, that's what I had said about that one, y'all. I was like, the only way that this could not be true, because all the evidence and stuff, was if somebody made it up. It had to be made up, man, because if it wasn't made up, then, dude, there's no way you could have debunked that one.
The Andrew Carlson story is one of my favorites. I love this one. It has all the makings of a great conspiracy. Millions of dollars, a mysterious benefactor, a missing person. But this one originated as a fictional piece in Weekly World News, a satirical newspaper. Later, the story was picked up by Yahoo News, so naturally people believed the story. It was then reported by other newspapers and magazines as fact, and this drove word of mouth, creating one of the great modern urban legends.
So, the lesson here is...
Don't believe anything the media says?
You're learning.
Okay.
Don't believe everything you read. Alizé and Weed. That's from Tupac, man. That's one of his quotes, man, that I love to say. But yes, man, that one right there is basically, well, one person reported it and then it just started getting picked up by other people and it just spread like wildfire. So that's another one debunked. Let's see.
So the Mike Tyson fight. Although the device in the video does resemble a type of camera phone not sold until years later, it also could be one of a number of handheld cameras that were in fact widely available. The resolution and size of the original video make it difficult to determine the specific features of the device, but some believe it's similar to either the Casio QV10A, the Casio QV100, or the Logitech Photoman. So, debunked? Probably. Maybe. I'm not sure. If you think you know what kind of camera that is, please let us know in the comments. The idea...
Okay, so with that one, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't act like I know everything. With that one, I was talking about, and I know y'all know what camcorders I'm talking about, like the big, huge one that you had to put on your shoulder, sort of like how the news people is now, but that was the ones that people had, and they had the VHS tape that you open and close, and you can play it on your VCR. See, those are only cameras that I really thought was available back then, other than disposable cameras. So I was already confused on that, first and foremost, from what I was saying earlier about that, as far as like the only cameras that was available. But apparently, there were other cameras that was small and compact in that size that man, whoever it was, the mystery man in the crowd from Mike Tyson, there was cameras available that looked similar to that. But my only problem is, those cameras, you hold them horizontal. You know what I'm saying? He was holding that bitch vertically. And he wasn't holding it back then. Now, I know this for sure. When you take pictures with those cameras, you look like this. You know what I'm saying? You gotta squint with one eye, then look with the other eye through the little peephole or whatever the fuck you wanna call it, so you can take the picture. That's how it was back then, man. This man holding that bit like it's a goddamn iPhone 15. Taking a picture like we do today. So I don't know, man. Like AJ said, I don't know if that explains that or not. I don't know about that one. I'm unsure. Let's go to the next one.
The idea that the hipster in the photograph is a time traveler hinges on 3 items that appeared to be too modern for 1940. A logo t-shirt, a small portable camera, and the wraparound sunglasses. But all of those items were readily available in the 1940s. The internet says he's wearing a Montreal Maroons embroidered jersey, and the Maroons were a hockey team that played in the NHL from 1924 to 1938. Okay, while glasses with protective side shields were not widespread, you could get them in 1940, and the camera in his hand, there definitely were cameras that small back then. They were unusual and they were pretty expensive, but they did exist. So, debunked?
Nope.
The woman on the
I think that one pretty much explains that. I can rock with that, but I didn't know that all that, like his clothes, the way he look in his clothes with the sunglasses and the freaking camera, the dude just look out of place as fuck. Like he literally made himself look like he was from the future, whether he knew it or not. Like he literally was dressing how people would dress in the future, whether he freaking knew it or not. The dude was a fucking pioneer, my brothers and sisters, of where we at today in society as far as fashion and all that. But that, yeah, I can rock with that one. I think that one debunked, man. I think that one right there would debunk it. I didn't know all that stuff was available back then. Like I said, y'all, the fucking Wi-Fi's, AJ, man, he educate me every time we watch a video from him. That's why I love watching it, and especially with my brothers and sisters. Let's go.
The cell phone, quote unquote, in the Charlie Chaplin clip is thought to be using an early hearing aid. Though I'm not sure why she's talking to herself and looking around like people do when they're on the phone, but she could be talking to herself. I mean, I do that when I'm alone.
Do we really want to discuss what you do when you're alone?
No, I don't. But the DuPont video from 1938 is a little trickier. After the story went viral, the woman's family claimed that her name was Gertrude Jones, and she was working for DuPont and using an experimental wireless telephone developed by the company. Okay, that's fine, but look at the size of it. The earliest cell phones were huge. And this is before World War II. So you're telling me we had the technology to make batteries that small? Okay, fine. Let's say the battery technology did exist. It wouldn't be big enough to power a wireless radio. The walkie-talkie was only patented in 1936. And in the war, radio operators were followed around by another guy with a backpack that carried the transceiver and battery, which weighed over 30 pounds, or 18 kilograms. Still heavy. So I don't know if this one is debunked. The ancient watch found in the Chinese...
I don't know if that one debunked either. Boy, I'm right with you, AJ. I don't believe that shit because that goddamn phone was just small as hell. Look, I'm calling it a phone. I believe it was a freaking phone, but I don't believe that they had the technology and all that stuff to create a phone like that back then. I just don't believe it. It just don't add up, y'all. Like the batteries back then was way bigger than what that phone was. I don't believe that one.
Tomb, that's a straight up hoax. Photoshopped, debunked. The astronaut on the Cathedral of Salamanca, well, the sculpture is definitely real, but when the cathedral was renovated and restored in 1992, the artist added their own modern touches, including the astronaut. Debunked.
Okay, that made sense to that. You know what I'm saying? That made sense to that. People just was remodeling the place or whatever, and they added their own little stuff. That makes sense.
Crap, those were good ones.
I know, they were. But 300 or 400 years from now, when someone looks at that church, they are gonna be confused.
True.
They say time is the fire in which we burn.
So why do we want so badly for these stories to be true? Why are we so obsessed with time travel? Well, probably because we're obsessed with time. Time rules our lives. Time creates possibilities. But time also ends possibilities. It's finite. The expression time is money isn't exactly true. Time is much more valuable than money. Wealth can be made and lost and made again. But time, once we lose it, we can never get it back. Time is the most valuable thing you have. Spend it wisely. Thanks for hanging out with us today. My name is AJ.
I couldn't have said it better myself, AJ. Like, seriously, man. Time, first of all, rules us all, man. Like, seriously, dude. Like, there is nothing we can do about time. And you could never freaking get it back. You can lose money and goddamn get some more, but you can't goddamn lose the time and get it back, man. It's just, that was real what AJ just said, y'all. Like, every second that goes by right now is in the fucking past. If you break it all the way down to a second, a millisecond, whatever, man. And it'll never come back. And I know, like, a lot of y'all out there, a lot of us humans, we feel like this. The older you get, it feel like the faster time goes by, y'all. Like, the older we get, the faster it go by. Like, it's already freaking, what month it is? March? How we in March, man? January, it was just 2024, feel like 2 weeks ago. And it's just like, man, like AJ said too, just value all the time that you have, my brothers and sisters, because we don't know just individually as humans how much time we have left. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, whoa, man, whoa. And as far as this video, great video from AJ, as always, but I'm glad that I picked this one to watch with y'all. And I'm kind of satisfied that a lot of this stuff got debunked, because like I had said at one point, man, if this can't be debunked, then I'ma freaking go crazy. It's almost like my theory why the government won't reveal to humans that they know aliens exist and they more than likely be in contact with aliens, because if humans really knew that, if the world knew that, and that's just a hypothetical, but this is to express what I'm saying. If a freaking alien from whatever planet would appear on stage with who our fucking president is, Joe Biden. If he would appear on stage with Joe Biden and Joe Biden be like, this is whoever from planet, and we just want the world to know that aliens do exist, man, the world would fucking blow up. Like, bro, we would kill ourselves, man. People would go into that big of a fucking hysteria where you would literally, after that freaking press conference in your house, it'll be like a movie. You'll just start hearing explosions and sirens and people just loud and people just gone fucking crazy. It would destroy the world. And it's the same thing with time traveling, man. I don't know, y'all. I don't freaking know, man. Like, if some of those would have been like true and there was no way to debunk it, it would be the same way, man. We would freaking go crazy, y'all. So I'm glad he did debunk some of them, but some of them, like the one with the lady looking like she was walking out of high school with the other ladies would buy. I don't know if she walking out of high school, but you know, she walking and she got this little ass device, man. This little ass freaking device, man. What she was talking to somebody and her family claiming that she was doing a experiment or whatever, testing out freaking cell phones. Way back then, cell phones weren't invented until years and years later. So what is you talking about? Then how in the hell was the cell phone that small? And then the other story with the man with the cell phone, you know what I'm saying, taking a picture at the Mike Tyson fight, that did not look like no camera, man, because you got to do like this with a camera. And then he had it upright, he had it in landscape mode, my brothers and sisters. What is that, landscape mode or is landscape sideways? What is the one, native? I don't know right now, but y'all know what I'm saying, where you have it straight up. I think landscape is when it's sideways, but he had it straight up, man. Ain't nobody was taking no damn pictures of nobody like that and looking like he just clicking a button. So that one right there, them probably the only two more than anything that I think could possibly be real. But I digress, my brothers and sisters. Let me shut my ass up and gonna let y'all go, because I appreciate y'all coming on back and being here for as long as y'all have. Please come on back tomorrow, because you know we're going to Mr. Ballin'. And before y'all leave, please, 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 please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if you ain't did that yet. And I'm gonna leave with this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.